already like a book.
Okay, let's go.
I'm like looking through it. Please what? I want to take.
Good day, comrades and friends. This is Dr. Gabe Roberts, the quantum chiropractor, a subconscious healer, new thought minister, and your expert in energy medicine. Is there a higher consciousness or an awareness which is connected to all life that we are constantly surrounded by and a part of, and most of us are not even aware of? Would this connection be felt by every biological being, including plants? What kind of evidence do we have to support this? Is there hard, reproducible evidence that tends to get ignored by mainstream sciences when something is presented against the norm? Keep that in mind as we look at one fascinating example. In his career, which was committed to investigation, federal and municipal law enforcement agencies, Cleve Backster earned a reputation as the world's foremost authority on the polygraph machine. Exactly 55 years ago, he had an experience which completely changed his life when his plant, which he hooked up to a polygraph machine, had this jump on the needle. Now, this is the exact picture of his results when he had an image in his mind of burning the leaf. So in response to this experience, when a plant apparently read his mind, he began working nights alone in his small lab to perfect a more intriguing experiment, working fully within the content of the scientific principles. He completely automated all involved equipment, that way to eliminate any human influence. He set up an experiment to show that plants will have a definite measurable reaction to any termination of life within their immediate environment. He set up a randomizer to choose an arbitrary moment that would dump brine shrimp into boiling water. In a completely separate room from this, he placed a philodendron plant, hooked it up to a polygraph machine, and had a videotape recorder watching everything. He carefully hooked the plant leaf up to the electrodes that monitor the electrical activity of the plant. Now, he reproduced these exact same techniques on countless police interrogation procedures and established a baseline on his polygraph to get an accurate data report as he recorded the response of the plants. He leaves everything to run automated and left, so his own consciousness will not affect the results. While he's away, the random timer eventually activated, and it triggered a mechanism holding the cup with the brine shrimp to be dumped to their death in the boiling water, instantly triggering a response from the plants. And this was all recorded on his polygraph machine at exactly the same time. The results that he acquired each night when he worked on this were carefully monitored and recorded. In spite of his high percentage of successful, reproducible results, very few scientific researchers had any interest at all in attempting to reproduce or even test his results. As we have done and seen more often than not, a majority of the scientific community simply condemned his efforts without taking the trouble to test their validity. Backster's own words describe the experience as to what happened. I haven't previously experienced any direct or indirect exposure to mystical philosophies. My contacts have been well within the establishment, particularly federal government agencies and law enforcement. Before working with plants, I hadn't really thought much about the idea of greater consciousness or awareness. Now I look around, but what I see has a completely different meaning. A few brine shrimp die and a plant feels their death. And I think it's the smallest of the events that makes it so significant. It means that even lower levels of life, there's a profound consciousness or awareness that binds all things together. Go to my page, Dr. Gabe Roberts, like it or tag a friend as I continue to go in depth on the mind, the subconscious, and show you that the greatest part of you is something that you'll never see.